Hello everyone, this is Captain Playguy. I'm an avid player of Guild Wars 2 and I wanted to talk to you today about some reasons to try Guild Wars 2. The first and foremost reason to try Guild Wars 2 is the entire core game is free. The content that the game launched with is free to download and play, along with maps and certain pieces of content between the game's original launch and the first expansion, Heart of Thorns. That's 28 PvE maps, 8 classes, and 3 main game modes in PvE, PvP, and World vs. World. I'll talk about these 3 game modes later. The combat system in Guild Wars 2 is amazing. The combat is fluid and dynamic, there's multiple layers to it, it's tailored towards moment-to-moment action. Movement and positioning are key elements in successful fights. You have dodges that let you evade and change position, there's countless combos to learn, and yet you only use up to 15 keys for your combat skills. By default, it's the 1 through 0 keys and the F1 through F5 keys. Far simpler than a lot of other MMOs. Each class is flexible. There's no holy trinity of damage, support, and tank. Each class has the capability to heal themselves, deal damage through various means, and or tank. Even in the endgame content, the same class can have multiple meta builds that can be run concurrently in a group. Each class is also unique. They each have their own set of weapon skills, healing skills, utility skills, elite skills, and class skills. Even for classes that share the same weapon, their weapon skills will be completely different to each other. The PvE content has multiple modes of play. You've got your usual open world adventuring and exploration and dungeons, but you've also got world bosses, which are special bosses that spawn on a timer in the open world, and fractals of the mists, which are endgame mini dungeons that are a great source of endgame equipment and loot. The game also features a personal story mode, which is a campaign that features multiple choices throughout. The personal story also sets the stage for the story that comes after this first campaign. An important note about loot in this game is kill stealing and loot stealing is not a thing in this game. Everyone that participates in a fight will get their share of the loot. It's not whoever loots it first, it's not items are dropped and automatically assigned to one person. Everyone gets their own spoils. PvP is a 5v5 team-based competitive mode. You fight other players, capture points, and maybe even fight some powerful NPCs for something extra. The devs took extra care to level the playing field for this mode. PvP uses set max level attributes for your gear that you can choose from. You also choose from a pool of runes, sigils, and amulets with their own set stats. No one gets an unfair advantage in this game mode by grinding for the best gear in the game to lord over the peasants. From level 1 to level 80, everyone has the same potential. Victory comes from your choices in your build and on the battlefield. As a nice bonus, this allows you to try a class at max level from the very start, instead of having to wait until you're a certain level to experience everything a class has to offer. World vs. World is a special game mode that combines elements of PvE and PvP. You play on one of several maps along with dozens or perhaps even hundreds of other players. You'll be fighting other players, sieging forts, storming keeps, fighting champion NPCs, claiming camps, disrupting supply runs, and more alongside many other players. The world in the title of this game mode comes from the world you choose when you're setting up your account. If you're getting into Guild Wars 2 with friends or because of friends, check with them which world they're in. This will save you some trouble later. Guild Wars 2 is not a pay-to-win game. Everything on the gem store, which is where you can buy in-game items for real money, are just for cosmetics, convenience items, toys, and quality of life upgrades. Cosmetics are items that give you extra skins for your equipment. Convenience items make certain mundane tasks easier, such as salvage kits. Toys are fun little things you can play with in the game, such as extra dances and rideable objects like carpets and brooms. The quality of life upgrades are things like bank storage expansion, material storage expansion, and extra character slots. None of what the gem store offers is necessary to have a full game experience, nor are you cheated out of content because you can't or won't buy anything from the gem store. In fact, you don't even need to spend any real money on the gem store. Guild Wars 2 has a conversion system where you can exchange in-game gold you earn for gems to use in the gem store. Want an item but can't justify using real money? Grind for it! If you enjoy story and lore in your games, Guild Wars 2 has plenty of that to offer. The world of Tyria, the world that Guild Wars 2 takes place in, has a rich and complex history. Kingdoms have risen and fallen, lands claimed and reclaimed by different races, new and undiscovered races appearing. The rise of the Elder Dragons threatens to consume all the magic in the world and end civilization as we know it. While a good chunk of the lore is related to the original Guild Wars campaigns, the story and lore of Guild Wars 2 overall is self-contained. Anything that occurred in the previous Guild Wars campaigns is explained where it's relevant to Guild Wars 2. Besides, Guild Wars 2 offers plenty of story of its own. The Elder Dragons aren't the only threat you face throughout the game. And the last reason I want to mention is the community of Guild Wars 2. This community is one of the best, if not the best, I've ever been in. So many players have been so helpful in my experience, among countless other people's. There's usually a friendly player ready to offer advice or help. Got a question? You can ask in local or map chat. Need help with an event? People are ready to crush it. Need a revive? Someone in the area will probably find you and bring you to life. I can think of no other game where you will actually see the message, too many resurrectors. These are the main reasons why Guild Wars 2 is worth trying out. There's so much to do in this game and a ton of flexibility on how you want to play it. I just covered the stuff you can experience in the core game. I didn't even cover everything Guild Wars 2 has to offer in the core game, let alone the expansions. The expansions offer even more content. New maps, elite specializations, gliding, raids, mounts, strike missions, dragon response missions. If you've never tried Guild Wars 2 before, now's as good a time as any. So, what are you waiting for? Go to the official Guild Wars 2 website, which will be linked in the description, and download now. PvP uses set max level attributes. Did I really just say attributes? Damn girl, what about damn attributes?